Hello everybody, my name is Kerstein. I'm an extern in the transactional department. I found out about ALB by doing a quick Google search and looking up for the top real estate law firms in New York. And from there, I was able to look on the website. I learned a lot about the firm. I learned about some of the work that the attorneys were working on. And I also got to read some of the articles that they wrote. And I became really impressed with the firm and realized that, hey, my 2 a year, I'm going to try to do what I can to try to get an externship here. So when I first applied, I got an email back asking me to set a time to interview. And what the firm actually does, which is pretty interesting, is that they send you a questionnaire. And from there, you ask all these personal questions, like what's your favorite song, a favorite memory from childhood. And that kind of showed me a little bit about the culture here at the firm right before I got here, because they were interested in getting to know who I was. One of the things that I liked about my interview is that I was interviewed by Adam himself, which shows me that he's interested in every person that has the opportunity to work here, because it shows that he makes time to just ask questions to make sure that everyone here is a right fit for each other. So I appreciated that. One of the reasons why I like working at Adam Leitman Bailey P.C. is because as an extern, I get access to some of the best attorneys in the field, especially in New York. Within the transaction department, I work under Rosemary, and I work alongside with Jason and Amy in the finance department. And one of the things that I like about working with Jason and Amy specifically is that I can ask them 1,000 questions and not once will they ever frown upon me. In fact, it's encouraged for me to ask as many questions as possible. I think in return, it's allowed me to be a better future attorney. So my day-to-day is a bit different. For the most part, there are things that I know that I'm going to work on, but there are other times where I'm just heading to closings all over the city, which is pretty exciting because when you're here, you're working on a lot of documents, and it's really nice to put a face to the name that you're working on. And it's kind of one of my favorite things about attending a closing. It's just knowing that you were able to help out a borrower get one step closer to their goal, which is something that I really appreciate and something that I found to be fulfilling, at least in transactional work. Some future advice that I would give an extern is to be prepared to learn when you get here, because the attorneys are here and they're ready to teach you. Ask as many questions as you need to, because you have access to the best attorneys, the best real estate attorneys here in New York. So that would be my first piece of advice. Another piece of advice that I would offer an extern is to understand that you're taking some time away from law school. And if you're doing so, those hours that you spend outside of school need to be applied to something very important, something where you're going to have a learning experience from. So whatever externship that you do choose, make sure to do the proper research to make sure that this is a place that you're going to actually learn, which is one of the reasons why I chose Adam Leitman Bailey P.C.